Engine fired. We're set.
The 1978 Lotus 79. What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today. Yes, we are back again for another round of the MRL F1 Classics League. We're here for round 7 here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Here's a reminder of the championship standings. VFens is obviously the championship leader over Greek Master, and we are currently down in 13th position in the championship. Probably not the ideal spot anyway, considering you look at the last 3 results there, 2 DNFs and the 9th place. I think it was the 9th, might have been 8th placing there. I can't really remember the last time around China anyway. It was pretty much a shocking result anyway, just driving on my own, doing bugger all really. But bit of news to start with. Greek Master has gone back to a reserve driver as he couldn't make Wednesdays because of his work, I believe. So it's a bit unfortunate for Greek, but anyway, we move on. So if I do stop in between, that's because I'm probably doing important stuff. But a little bit of history of this car. Designed late 1977 by Colin Chapman, Jeff Aldridge, Martin Ogilvie, Tony Rudd and Peter Wright of Lotus. First F1 car to take full advantage of the ground effects aerodynamics pioneered by its predecessor, the Lotus 78. This car was powered by a Ford Cosworth DFV, don't ask me what the hell that is, V8 engine, 5-speed manual transmission, as you've probably been seeing through all the gears there anyway. But yeah, I'll just pause for that for the moment and we'll go on board, because I think this is actually my fastest lap of the qualifying session. So did a 147.853 at the moment, which is currently P4 at this stage. So anyway, nice run through turns 1, 2 and 3 there.
We've only got 2 laps
as I don't have the track up in front of me, so that's going to affect me quite a bit here. But I'm just going to have to guess off the top of my head anyway. So you do turn 4, ride the curve a little bit, make sure you don't lose the back end around here, because you can do it around this joint. Now, this right-hander 5, I think this hopefully it is 5. If it's wrong, I do apologise. But then 6 now through the hairpin here, got to get it nice and tight through here. I'm using first gear just to get a bit of a drive off here. Didn't feel like second gear was quite worthy around that corner, but coming down into this dreaded corner that I hate over the period of time, not so much in this game, but the last game anyway, F1 2017 at the moment. But you see we're probably starting to gain a little bit of time there on sector time. Sector 1, I mean, wasn't brilliant. I mean, probably was one of my slowest ones, but I probably lost a little bit more time through sectors 2 and 3. Now we're turn 12, holding it really through in fourth gear, I should say, through here, because it didn't feel like shifting back up to 5th, but shoved back down to 3rd. We actually went purple in sector 2 there. We were quite a bit up there by nearly 0.3 per second. Now coming into the penultimate couple of corners here. Breaker's lazy there, a little bit of oversteer, so brake the car hard into there, and now coming across the start finish line. We will improve. We'll go up into, well, actually we don't. We stay in P4 with a 147.567. It really wasn't ideal anyway, but yeah, copped a warning there for speeding into the pit lane. But yeah, I felt like there was probably still a little bit left on the table there, if I'm completely honest. So yeah, I was just going to come back into the pits and probably put on another fresh set of boots and go back out there. But here's a few replays from a few other people's perspectives. Sato around the first couple of corners there, as there's actually just managed to keep it onto the track, well, keep it off the wall, I should say, but he nearly got caught up there with Penske off to the right there, I think it was. There's who's this one? This is Neon Tree Dome, running a bit wide and nearly spinning the car. He's probably had to abort that run, I think, as he lets a few cars go. He's running well and truly off the racing line, so just keeping out of everybody's way through here, and yeah, don't blame him. But yeah, anyway, putting on another set of tyres and continuing on. So where was I in the history? Yeah, 5-speed. This car was nicknamed Black Beauty by the press and F1 fans, mainly for the livery, and
our best
probably
lap so far is a 1:47.5.
There's Jeff giving us an update. It's probably mainly because this car has spots at a bit of tobacco sponsorship back in the days. Of course, the tobacco sponsorship is banned in this day and age. Excuse me. It debuted in round 6 in Belgium in 1978. And it was actually supposed to not really last long. The Lotus 80 was going to replace it in 79, but unfortunately the 80 proved to be a total failure and had to go back to the 79 for pretty much the 79 season. So drivers that in 1978 had Mario Andretti, Ronnie Peterson. Unfortunately, he was killed, died in a crash at the start line at Monza. After a start line crash at Monza, and Jean-Pierre Jarier, I hope I pronounced that correctly. If not, I sincerely apologise. But the car managed to have 6 wins, and there was plenty of other podiums along the way. I think like 9 podiums. Oh, sorry, not 9 podiums, but Mario had 5 wins, and Ronnie Peterson did 1 win and 5 podiums. So not too bad all around. 1979, Mario Andretti continued in that car. Oh, of course, in 78, Mario took the driver's title and the constructor's title as well with Lotus. So Mario continued in 79. He had Carlos Reutemann, and there was also Hector Rabach in a sort of like a third car, you would say. But all in all, the car had 26 races, 6 victories, roughly 14, 15 podiums in that time, 10 poles, 5 fastest laps. As I mentioned, drivers championship for Mario and Constructors Championship 1978. It actually turned out to be the last Drivers and Constructors Championship for Lotus. Hopefully, you never know, it may be resurrected in the past there. But back to qualifying now, as we're actually on the final lap here. And I was actually possibly going to improve here, but we're just going to narrowly miss out by 4, 5 100ths of a second in the end. Yeah, it's a little bit gutted there because it felt like a pretty good car, not going to lie. When you consider, if we have a look at replays, there's a little sideways moment there for Sato coming off the first couple of corners there. It is quite easy to lose the back end a little bit, and that was Conrad straight just off to the left there. And here's Neon Tridome a bit further on. This is later on in qualifying, and they get caught up in the exact same spot he did earlier on, and this time's actually fully spun it this time around. So he was sitting comfortably in P2 in a moment. I'm not sure whether he was going to improve his time or not, but there was a car off the road there. I'm not sure whether it got spun out or whether it actually retired in the end. But that was pretty much qualifying done and dusted. So in the end, Dill gets pole position. Another pole for him with a 1:46.687. He got Neon in third, Cosmic Robbie. Neon in second, Cosmic Robbie third, myself in fourth, Chimchar, Penske, Conrad, and Sato. A little bit of a disappointing turnout, if I'm honest, for this week's round. I think a lot of people were a bit busy because it is a bit difficult for some people to make it to these races anyway. But getting to race strategy, apparently the strategy says it's a one-stop around Bahrain. So it's going to be very interesting, this entire race, whether people do pit or not. Wait and see. Here we go. We're ready for round 7 here of MRL. 5 red lights. Let's do it around Bahrain, and not a bad start. Cosmic Robbie had a decent start as well. Neon Trito didn't really have the greatest of starts. Look at Chimchar right around the outside there. Going into turn 1 here. Cosmic Robbie and Dill getting a little bit close for comfort there. Chimchar going side by side there. And Neon, he's got past him. He might actually get a move done here on Dill's. Had a terrible run out of that first couple of corners there. So I had a little bit of I think I had a bit of a misshift there, but they're going to go right around the outside here of Dill. There's a little bit of contact. I think someone else got caught up in that. I think it possibly was Sato. We'll probably have a look at his replays a little further on, but going right around the outside, going to miss right-hander and left-hander. And Dill's actually spun the car. Now, at that moment on, I thought, am I in a little bit of trouble here? Did I maybe spin Dill off there? Because literally, I think we were going 3 wide around that right left-hander anyway, but there's a bit of chaos in front there, as that's actually Cosmic Robbie that's been spun around. I think that was by Chimchar. I could be wrong, but that's given Chimchar the race lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Neon Tridome obviously moved up in the second. A little bit of a slide there coming out of the final couple of corners there, but that was all fully hectic around at the first lap anyway. As they'll be probably going on to lap 2 now. There's actually a battle up in front with Chimchar and Neon going side by side into turn 1 here. It's still going on here. Chimchar pushed him a little wide there. Neon's going to come back at him here and actually get the spot back. So great racing between these two. But yeah, we could continue on into lap 2 and now just really pushing on just to try and catch up to these guys, because felt pretty like I said, I felt pretty comfortable in this car compared to the other Lotus that we drove around Russia in I think it was a 1972 Lotus. I could be wrong anyway, but you can go check that one out anyway. But we set the fastest lap of the race because there was plenty of people me setting fast laps right, left and center. Hopefully my voice doesn't die throughout this voice recording, but Neon runs a little bit wide. And we did have the fastest lap of the race, but unfortunately Dill pretty much pinched it off us at the moment. But yeah, still settling into a rhythm here, and felt like a decent result was pretty possible around here. But there's yellow flags, and Penske is actually out of this race. So his luck is pretty much not changing at this point as Chimchar gets a little bit close for comfort with Neon Tridome there. Yeah, Penske not having the greatest of runs so far as Neon runs a little bit wide onto the curb there. Coming out of, I think it was turn 13. Here's a replay of the start. So yeah, Neon I think just bogged it down a little bit compared to Dill. Obviously, you can see there's Cosmic Robbie off to the far right. Chimchar, I think it's on the left. There was a little bit of contact there between Cosmic Robbie and Dill. Obviously, there's a little side-by-side battle with Chimchar there. Oh, a little bit on the curb there, but no idea what actually happened with Dill. I would probably say the curb, played a bit of a factor in that. But yeah, he managed to survive all of this. But might be able to see what occurred here. So I don't think Cosmic Robbie had the greatest of runs out of that dreaded left-hander there. So Chimchar's all over the back of him here. So let's have a look here, because gets pretty close here to Chimchar. Looking for a move up the inside, and there was contact between these two. Now, whether that was desync or not, you can make your own opinion on that. But it is quite commonly known in this game that desync does ruin a fair few races along the way. But he's on board with Sato. He down into turn 1. Just take it nice and cautiously here. We did have Lockie for this race, but can't remember what actually happened when he had internet issues or had something else he had to go to, something or other. I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyway, he's unfortunately left the session. So this is, look at Sato, the big dive bomb up the inside. So that was him up the inside there. So no wonder we went 3 wide, nearly pretty much going into turn 3 it was. But he did tag Dill there. So yeah, again, desync could be a player factor there, but looks a bit as your father sort of thing. So he just pulls off to the side and lets Dill get the spot back, and puts him back up, back down to P9, I should say. But this was the replay with Neon and Chimchar down into turn 1. So Neon actually had the fastest third sector. That's why it went purple there, but getting a little bit of contact there from Chimchar. And now holding it around the outside there. Nice move from Neon. Obviously put him into the race lead. This is what happened on lap 3 with Penske. He's got a bit of company behind with legendary Conrad behind him, so gave him a good run for his money into turn 1. Now into turns 2 and 3 here. So he's got a good run here. Oh, there was contact, and it's just slammed into the wall.
Okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
Yeah, fortunately, like I mentioned, Penske's luck's just not changing at this stage in MRL, unfortunately. So, again, desync may have played a factor in that one. I'm not sure, but here we go. Got a nice run here on Chimchar. Gonna have a look down the inside. Break as late as we dare. into turn 1. Now, I am using the sequential gearbox that I have from my Thrustmaster wheel there. So there's a bit of yellow flag action back on the final couple of corners there by the looks of things. But just trying to hang on to the back of Chimchar here. And somehow we went actually purple in Sector 2, even though I was a bit down on this, the split. So it was all very weird there. But still explain what happened. So Cosmic Robbie going back up the inside here. Dill got the move done. No, that was going to end badly. And poor old Dill's just, you could say, nearly a battering around there, unfortunately. So this is how it goes back a fair way. So Dill goes right round the outside into, I think that's turn 11 in white work for him. Unfortunately, he's going to have to do that all again. Now through turns 13. Gets a bit close there. Cosmic Robbie ran a little bit wide. Actually got a much better run here. Look at this drive he's got in this car compared to Cosmic Robbie. He's going to get him easily down here in a turn out of the final couple of corners, I should say. So gets up the inside. Nice clean move. Cosmic Robbie tries to switch back. Here's a little contact and, well, the first bit probably maybe a little bit Cosmic Robbie's fault. Might have been desync. Yeah, I could be wrong, but Sato hanging on just for the moment here. He's doing a great load of drift work, hanging onto it. Good work. Somehow managed to not put it into the wall there. Some of these guys' car control is amazing, I must admit. Anyway, but anyway, continuing on, lap 5. Bit of a three-way fight here for the leader of the race. We're pretty much pulling away actually from Connor. A virtual safety car now has been deployed.
Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. Okay, slow down,
That's
slow down.
Settle.
Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast.
Yeah, I know.
Reduce your pace.
I know, Jeff. There's plenty of time for that, but that was all very chaotic here, and this is what actually happened, because I think there was yellow flag action back at turns 12, 13 here. So this is Sato again. Oh, the curb. Oh, gee, going very wide and getting spun on his own. Oh, and it gets Dill caught up in it as well. Literally every single moment we've seen is pretty much got X still involved in it somewhere along the line, unfortunately. So just on board with Dill. So obviously you can see Sato run very wide there, got onto the bump and slid the car, and I don't think he actually got front wing damage, did Dill, which is pretty lucky, I must admit. But yeah, fortunately for the man who started on pole, it's not going very well at the moment. But anyway, virtual safety car went off and we went back racing again. And again, Chimchar putting pressure, and Neon runs a little bit wide through turns 1 and 2 and 3. Chimchar can get a good run here. I don't think he's quite got it, but we did lose a little bit of ground to them, unfortunately. But we did gain it up a little bit later on, as actually Sato's now retired from the Grand Prix. So something's happened to him there, but Chimchar right up the rear end here into turn 10. There's a little bit of contact and a spun. Neon's been spun, Chimchar's been caught up in it, and some unknown reason I get an illegal overtake on Chimchar, which I was very puzzled about, so I just had to back out of it and let him go here so I could not get an illegal overtake, or especially a penalty for not giving the spot back. But there's a bit more chaos, I think. Oh no, that might have been actually Sato's car, retired car, my bad. So they're back through turn 13, and actually Chimchar doing very nice there, just giving the spot back. So they probably didn't actually know that I had actually got that. So still on board with Sato here. The virtual safety car's come to an end, and unfortunately, oh dear, it's not going very well for Sato at all. So fortunately, he was a bit over the delta time, and he's now copped the drive-through penalty for his troubles there. And he's now serving a pit stop here, and I think he's serving a 5-second stop-go penalty. I think he was just frustrated in the end, so just decided to quit on the spot, unfortunately. So saw what actually happened with Neon. So he gets a little bit sideways there, and I think maybe I got on the power a little bit too early, or it may have been Chimchar getting into the rear of him a little bit. But again, desync could play a factor in this one, because We all know how bad the desync is on this F1 2018 game, so nothing's changed. But anyway, we're now in the lead of the race. Got Chimchar all over the rear end here, as we run a little bit wide in the turn 8, which doesn't really help my run. It's now elevated Conrad up into P3, but probably won't be long here. But I was trying to maybe, what's the wording? As we get set the fast lap of the race, but it actually gets beaten now by Neon Tridome by about 4/10, I think it was. But just trying to think of the word there. Trying to get Chimchar to actually pit and try and get him in early, and maybe I could pit a bit later on. But yeah, you'll be able to see why a bit later on why it didn't happen. There's a little bit of contact between us now, going into turn 11 here, so managed to just hang around the outside. We've got him side by side here through turns 11 and 12. We've just managed to hold it on through here. We managed to do. Had to cover the inside line here, which sort of compromises my run a little bit here. So it's probably going to give Chimchar the run here.
We expect the grip
Got to go right around the outside here. So yeah, at this point, I don't think many people did pit stops at this race. I don't think actually many did pit stops, but Chimchar right around the outside and gets the race lead back. So now we've got to try and get the spot back off Chimchar here. So now we've got quite a good run here. Going to go side by side down in the front straight here. Everything looks pretty normal at the moment, and we've been spun into the wall. And now we got front wing damage.
Be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage.
At that moment, I was just literally furious. I was thinking, what on earth have you done, Chimchar? Why have you just done that while battling for the lead of the race? I just could not believe my eyes. Anyway, here's a replay of it in slow-mo here. Now, gonna pause it right about here, because you can still see the proximity arrow down the bottom there. It's still red, and as we go back to resuming there, it's still actually red on my screen there, so it's all very weird there. And I think Chimchar actually said afterwards that it possibly was maybe a bit of desync there, but yeah, unfortunately it's pretty much nearly ended my race there. So it's a replay on board. I do thank Sato for this footage. So yeah, I mean, it looks obvious there that maybe Chimchar did give me a little nudge, but you guys and girls can make your own opinion on that one. So well, you probably all saw that going on. Neon actually got the move past Conrad. So you went right round the outside going into turn 12. Conrad may have just backed out of it a little bit, but
5.8 seconds.
So now that puts Neon back up into P3, and it obviously turned out to be P2 once I got spun around. But anyway,
understood. Stopping this lap.
I thought that I decided to pit this lap anyway, and just, well, did get the pit stop done. And I was maybe hoping at that stage that the guys in front would probably get, what's the wording, like black flagged or something for not doing their mandatory pit stop. But yeah, anyway, maybe looking back on it as well, maybe I could have pushed on a little bit more, because Dill was a fair way behind, and there's not many laps to go in this race, unfortunately. So anyway, got a new set of tyres and a new front wing, so should definitely help my cause here. So pretty much the goal from here on in was just try and, well, just salvage a decent result, maybe catch up to maybe the guys a bit further on, but I need something to go my way, unfortunately. So we do come out in front of Cosmic Robbie, who's just behind in P6. Still got 7 runners here. I can't remember off the top of my head who this last runner is on the road, but was a little bit worried at this stage when they go on to lap 11, because Cosmic Robbie's still got a little bit of pace up his sleeve here, and well, with all that chaos that happened in turn 1, I may have taken out a few braking markers, so yeah, that possibly may have been my fault there. I do apologise for that one, but again, out of my control, unfortunately. But yeah, just really pushing on here and just trying to see what we can do here. Trying to pull away from Cosmic Robbie here, but we are setting purple sector times here. Sector 1 was purple. See, sector 2 was the fastest, purple, and sector 2, as we come across the line now, wasn't quite enough in the end to get the fastest lap of the race. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate there, but anyway, we continue on. Going very, very deep into turn 1 there, and on lap 12, so... and, you know, yeah, I was still pushing on as best I could anyway, so there's now Neon now has actually improved the lap time a little bit more, so I think from here on in it's just pretty much just go nuts and try to achieve that fast lap. Again, still getting the fastest purple sector 2 there, so I was really shocked about, but lap 13, I think you'll find this is going to be the fastest lap as we go purple in sector 1 there. We did start to pull away from a Cosmic Robbie, just dropped back a little bit there. Did go purple, like I said, in sector 2, but I still assume we still got the fastest middle sector there. And we actually do set the fastest lap of the race.
The fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
47.857. I think that's the first in the 47s. That was pretty much pure anger, I think, at that moment anyway, but pretty much on the way home now. You can see we are starting to slowly catch up the Conrod straight there. A bit further up, but I think it's a bit of a losing cause, unfortunately, but it's not really quite possible. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chimchar, but I just had to put that in the video. I'm sincerely apologetic about that one, but you probably deserve that now, unfortunately. But pretty much he crashed across the line. Neon went on to win the race, and I think, from memory,
Caution.
I can't actually remember off the top of my head. I tried my absolute best to try and catch up to Conrad, but it was all in vain. So with Chimchar crashing over the finish line, we're actually going to get P4, and yeah, that was pure frustration, just slamming it into the wall there, because I was not happy at all. And Chimchar just said he didn't want to win the race because it'd make it unfair. So, I mean, fair's fair there. Don't blame him for taking himself out. So
here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today.
So yeah, there you go, guys and girls. That was a very interesting round 7 of the MRL F1 Classics League. Got to say, not too bad of a car, if I do say so myself. Well, it's definitely better than the 72 Lotus anyway, but 78 Lotus got a lot more stable compared to the 72 anyway. But you go check out all the previous videos of MRL. It's all in the playlist there. But anyway, Neon did win the race. Dill actually came back to P2, which I was a little bit shocked about. So Conrad rounded out the podium there. Then he got myself, Cosmic Robbie. Pretty much, I think, the only one that got a penalty, unfortunately. So who else we got? Lockie finished up at 70. Did actually rejoin in the end, did Lockie. So must have been a bad connection or something. But anyway, in the end, the Chimchar, Sato, and Penske DNF'd out of the race. So the championship, it was Dill now. Ex-Dill has taken the championship lead because Fens didn't actually take part in that weekend. Obviously, I think Greek will probably drop down the order a little bit now. Depends whether he turns up for any more races throughout the season anyway. But where are we at the moment? We jump up into P9, so we're actually inside the top 10. So that's probably a decent result anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this round. So the voices managed to survive. So anyway, if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. You can leave your comments as always down below. Give your thoughts on what happened during that race and who was at fault. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more MRL F1 Classics on F1 2018, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. All my social media links are down in the description. You can be sure to go give me a follow on my Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can also check out the Motorsport Racing League website. I'll probably leave a link to that as well down in the description. But until the next time, which will be at the Belgium Grand Prix in the 1982 McLaren, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.